To my dear buddies, gecko farming is a unique and highly lucrative industry in China, and today we will investigate each other's experiences in this field. You probably aren't aware of this, but there are gecko farms in this area that can bring in up to $8,000,000 in 1 year. Discovering the key to success is what we need to do. Geckos that are referred to by their scientific name, gecko, have enormous bodies that fall somewhere between 12 and 16 inches in length and weigh between 5 and 10 ounces. Both of their eyes are brown or orange-yellow in color, and their heads are triangular in shape. One of its unique characteristics is the capacity to move on any surface. This is made possible by the minute hairs on their feet, known as spatula, which enable them to attach to surfaces by the use of electrostatic interactions. Creating a living environment that is suited for geckos is of utmost importance in order to properly raise them. Bricks, cement, wood, and mesh are typically used in the construction of the cage, which typically measures between 6.5 and 7.2 feet in height and between 4 and 5 feet in width. Within the confines of the enclosure, there ought to be tree trunks made of wood for the geckos to climb and lay their eggs on. The process of identifying male and female geckos is a pretty straightforward one. The main indicator of their presence is a V-shaped pattern formed by 2 rows of holes that run along the thighs of the gecko. In males, there are 2 rows of holes that are particularly noticeable. When it comes to females, these 2 rows of holes are either not visible or can be differentiated from the cry altogether. For the purpose of attracting females, males frequently weep, whereas females do not cry. This makes it easier for farmers to identify and control the amount of geckos that are present on their farms. Geckos are active at night. Their primary eating times are in the evening and early in the morning. Crickets are their preferred meal, however. Dried shrimp and sea fish are also acceptable options for feeding them. Incorporating the cricket farming model into the gecko farm not only helps to reduce expenses, but also guarantees the quality of the food, which in turn encourages geckos to engage in their natural hunting activity. In the evening, many farms make use of light bulbs. Having access to soft light makes it easier for geckos to see and hunt insects, which in turn improves their health and ability to grow. Isn't it cool to think about ITT? There is a pattern of hibernation that geckos follow. Geckos begin to lay eggs when they are 6 months old and weigh approximately 2 to 5 ounces. This occurs when the temperature decreases below 20 degrees Celsius in the surrounding environment. She will lay between 2 and 3 eggs each time, and the eggs will hatch when around 3 months have passed. An interesting fact about geckos is that young geckos frequently reside in the same nest as their parents until the older nest becomes too full. Geckos are eligible for sale once they have reached a weight of between 5 and 10 ounces, which is around 6 to 8 months of age. There is a wide range of prices for geckos on the market, ranging from $30 to $50 in the United States for each individual gecko. According to the most recent data, which was published in 2023, the total gecko farms in China supplied approximately 200 tons of geckos to the market, which resulted in millions of dollars in revenue collection. Both domestic and international sources are utilized for consumption. Geckos are not only considered to be a valuable animal in China, but they are also considered to be a treasure in the field of traditional medicine. After being processed, dried, and crushed, geckos are utilized as a treatment for a variety of ailments, including coughs, asthma, bone and joint pain, and most importantly, to strengthen the penis and nourish the kidneys. In addition to the medical benefits it offers, geckos are also utilized as components in the preparation of recipes that are both delicious and nourishing. Do you have any experience with gecko porridge, gecko stir-fried, or gecko in its raw form? Not only are these recipes delicious, but they are also packed with a lot of nutrients. In addition, geckos are utilized in the production of delectable and nutritive items, such as gecko extract and gecko wine. The farming of geckos is a viable business model that requires knowledge of biological traits, care practices, and suitable nourishment for geckos. If you have the knowledge and experience that comes from working on large farms in China, I believe that you will be able to completely implement and improve this concept in order to produce substantial profits. If anyone is interested in beginning this model, please do not be reluctant to post a comment for me. And now, here are some interesting features of geckos that few people know. Geckos are one of the most fascinating reptiles, possessing unique characteristics that make them stand out from other lizards. While many people recognize geckos for their ability to cling to walls and ceilings, these creatures have many other remarkable adaptations that are less well known. Let's explore the extraordinary traits of geckos that make them truly special. Certainly one of the most famous abilities of geckos is their remarkable skill to climb and stick to almost any surface, including smooth glass and ceilings. Unlike other animals that rely on suction cups or sticky secretions, geckos use millions of microscopic hair-like structures called setae on their toe pads. These setae interact with surfaces at the molecular level through van der Waals forces, allowing geckos to walk upside down effortlessly without slipping. This ability has even inspired scientists to develop advanced adhesive materials based on gecko feet. Next is the perfect tail reconstruction. Like many lizards, geckos have a fascinating survival mechanism. They can detach their tails to escape predators. When threatened, a gecko's tail will break off and continue twitching, distracting the predator while the gecko makes its escape. What makes geckos unique is their ability to regenerate their tails almost perfectly. Over time, new tissue, blood vessels, and even nerves develop, forming a fully functional new tail. Scientists are studying this ability in hopes of applying it to human medicine, particularly in tissue regeneration. Unlike most reptiles, geckos lack movable eyelids. Instead, their eyes are covered by a transparent membrane that protects and keeps them moist. Since they cannot blink, geckos have developed a unique way to keep their eyes clean. They use their long tongues to lick away dust and debris. This fascinating behavior ensures that their vision remains clear, especially in dusty or sandy environments. While most lizards are silent, geckos are among the few reptiles that can produce sounds. They use chirps, clicks, and even bark-like calls to communicate with each other. Some gecko species make distinctive calls to attract mates, warn off rivals, or signal danger. The well-known tokai gecko, gecko, is named after the loud tokai tokay sound it makes. Not only that, geckos are primarily nocturnal creatures, meaning they are most active at night. Their eyes are highly adapted for low-light conditions, allowing them to see exceptionally well in the dark. In fact, a gecko's vision is estimated to be 350 times more sensitive to light than a human's. They can distinguish colors even in near-total darkness, a capability that most nocturnal animals lack. This incredible adaptation helps geckos hunt efficiently at night. Especially, geckos have a fascinating skin texture that makes them naturally resistant to dirt and bacteria. Their skin contains microscopic structures that prevent water and dust from sticking, keeping them clean without the need for bathing. This self-cleaning property also makes their skin highly resistant to infections, allowing them to survive in a variety of harsh environments. Scientists are exploring ways to replicate this feature for use in medical and industrial applications. Even more special is that some types of geckos can fly. While most geckos are skilled climbers, some species have evolved an even more spectacular ability: gliding. Certain geckos, like the flying gecko, Ptychozoon, have webbed skin flaps along their bodies and limbs. These flaps allow them to glide from tree to tree, helping them evade predators and move through dense forests more efficiently. This adaptation makes them one of the few flying reptiles in the world. Although they are not as famous as chameleons for their color-changing abilities, some gecko species can alter their coloration to blend into their surroundings. They use this skill for camouflage, temperature regulation, and even communication. Unlike chameleons, which change color rapidly, geckos often shift their hues more gradually, adapting to their environment over time. It is not wrong to say that geckos are among the most adaptable reptiles, thriving in a wide range of environments. They can be found in tropical rainforests, dry deserts, rocky cliffs, and even urban areas. Some desert-dwelling species can survive for long periods without water, while others are well adapted to humid jungle conditions. Their ability to regulate body temperature and conserve energy makes them highly resilient in harsh environments. Finally, despite their small size, geckos can live for an impressive amount of time. In the wild, many species have a lifespan of 10 to 20 years, while captive geckos, especially popular pet species like the leopard gecko, can live up to 30 years with proper care. This longevity is remarkable compared to other small reptiles, making them one of the longest living lizards of their size. In short, geckos are truly extraordinary creatures with a wide range of unique abilities, from their gravity-defying climbing skills to their night vision and self-cleaning skin. These adaptations not only help them survive in diverse environments, but have also inspired scientists in fields such as robotics, medicine, and material science. Next time you see a gecko, take a moment to appreciate just how incredible these small reptiles are. What do you find most fascinating about geckos? Let us know.